Welcome all, dear children. Hope you all are doing well. As in class 11th, we are doing the fourth chapter, chemical bonding and molecular structure. So in this video, I'll be further continuing it and we'll be doing the topic polarity of bonds. So children, firstly, I would like to explain you all what the term polar means and where it is applicable and where it is non-polar. So children, I'll take one example. The example is HCl. Okay, the example is HCl. So children, what happens in HCl? Chlorine is more electronegative as compared to hydrogen. So what happens? What is the characteristic of electronegative element? That is chlorine over here. Chlorine will tend to attract the shared pair of electron towards it. This electron, which was shared between hydrogen and chlorine, this electron chlorine is going to attract towards it. इस इलेक्ट्रॉन को क्लोरीन अपनी तरफ खींचने की कोशिश करेगा because here chlorine is more electronegative as compared to hydrogen. So the one who is attracting the electron towards it will tend to become negatively charged. So children, you can see over here it is slight negative charge over chlorine and hydrogen is giving the electron. From hydrogen, the electron is being attracted towards chlorine. So its electron will shift toward chlorine, as a result of which it will develop partial positive charge. So between hydrogen and chlorine, we know that we have sharing of electron, and chlorine being more electronegative will tend to attract shared pair of electron towards it, and as a result of which it will develop slight negative charge and hydrogen will develop slight positive charge. So children, whenever we have an electronegative element that is more electronegative than the other element, in that case the molecule is said to be polar molecule, and the bond that is formed between these two atoms, the bond that is formed between these two atoms by the sharing of electrons, is polar covalent bond. In the same way, we'll be having a non-polar covalent bond. Children, you can see the example. I'll explain you with the help of example only. We have H2 over here. Here, I'll write hydrogen is having one electron. Here also hydrogen is having one electron. So these electrons are shared between these two hydrogen atoms. So the bond that is formed is covalent bond. Now children, if you look towards their electronegativity, you can clearly see that no one is more electronegative than the other. They both are same atoms. इनमें कोई भी ऐसा नहीं है जो पहले वाले से ज़्यादा ताकतवर हो और is more electronegative, जो अपनी तरफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को खींच सके. So in that case, ये इसके इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ नहीं खींचने वाला, and even this hydrogen is not going to pull this electron of this hydrogen, as a result of which there will be no development of partial positive or negative charge over these two hydrogen atom, जिसकी वजह से इन दोनों एटम्स के ऊपर कोई पार्शियल पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव चार्ज नहीं आने वाला. तो इसको हम लोगों ने क्या बोला? नॉन पोलर कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड. जो दो नॉन, ये क्या है, इट इज H2 इज नॉन पोलर मॉलिक्यूल बिकॉज इसमें कोई भी मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव एलिमेंट नहीं है. दे बोथ आर इक्वल इन every sense. So the electron is shared between these two, and as a result of which these two the electrons are shared between these two, uh, no one will be developing more negative or positive charge over them. So sharing of electron, covalent bond between non-polar molecule, so it is non-polar covalent bond. So I just hope the concept is clear to you all. This is all about non-polar covalent bonds, and it is about the polar covalent bonds. Polar covalent bonds. I have given you the examples in both the cases. Now children, we will be moving to the next one, that is partial ionic character of covalent bond. What does it means? Covalent bond, that is the bond formed by the sharing of electron. This we all know. वो बॉन्ड जो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को शेयर करके बनता है किसी भी दो एटम्स के बीच में. That bond is known as covalent bond. Now, what is partial ionic character of covalent bond? It means the covalent bond that is formed between two atoms will be developing some ionic character. Children, here you can see in this example HCl. You can see as chlorine is more electronegative, it will tend to attract the shared pair of electron of hydrogen towards chlorine. So it is developing slight negative charge, it is developing slight positive charge. Dear children, as a result of which it is developing slight negative charge and it is developing slight positive charge. Whenever an atom develops negative or positive charge, they are somewhat related or are considered as ions. So the ionic character, the partial ionic character that is developed of a covalent bond, this we are going to study in this. Okay, now partial ionic character of covalent bond. Children, ionic character is directly proportional to difference in electronegativities. If you want to know about the partial ionic character, then that is determined by the difference in the electronegativities. अगर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी में डिफरेंस ज़्यादा होगा तो उतना ही ज़्यादा आयनिक कैरेक्टर वो शो करेगा. अगर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी में डिफरेंस नहीं होगा तो वो आयनिक कैरेक्टर कम शो करेगा. ओके, सो more the difference in the electronegativity. We know that chlorine is very good electronegative element and hydrogen is not. So the difference in their electronegativity is more. So it will be developing more partial ionic character. So with this we came to a conclusion. Ionic character is directly proportional to difference in electronegativities. Children, if electronegativity difference between two atoms is 1.9, अगर दो एटम्स के बीच में इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी डिफरेंस की वैल्यू comes out to be 1.9, if the difference of electronegativity between these two atoms is 1.9, electronegativity of this minus electronegativity of this, it is coming 1.9, then in that case the bond is 50% ionic and 50% covalent. In the same way, if electronegativity difference between two atoms is more than 1.9। अगर इन दोनों एटम्स के बीच में इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी डिफरेंस 1.9 से ज़्यादा आ जाता है, in that case, what I have told you, if it is more than 1.9 children, now the value of the difference in electronegativity is increasing. और मैंने आपको क्या बताया है? More the difference in electronegativity, more the ionic character. So children, here the difference in electronegativity is more than 1.9. So the partial ionic character of bond is more. It means 50%, more than 50%. It means the one having the electronegativity difference between them more than 1.9, it will be showing more than 50% ionic character. And if the ionic character is more than 50% children, then in that case the bond is taken as ionic. In the same way, if electronegativity difference is less than 1.5, in that case, it will show less ionic character and the bond will be covalent predominantly. So that's it in this topic, children. It is purely that ionic character is directly proportional to difference in electronegativity. If difference in electronegativity is 1.9, then the bond is 50% ionic and 50% covalent. In the same way, if electronegativity difference is more than 1.9, then more than 1.9 children, then it is ionic. And if electronegativity difference is less than 1.9, then the bond is covalent predominantly. So I just hope these two things are clear. What is polarity of bonds? In that we have done polar covalent bonds and non-polar covalent bonds. And even this topic is clear to you all. Partial ionic character of covalent bond. In case children you develop any doubt, you can just let me know in the comment section. Thank you all. Stay safe, stay healthy.